I say, bro, where you come from, man? You know what I'm talking about? I'm back up on you, man. We gonna call this one right here just boxing talk. You know what I'm talking about? I was just having a good old conversation with one of my partners about some of this boxing talk, man. So this video right here is just gonna be for everybody who like boxing, you know what I'm talking about, or want to know what baby could see, you know what I'm talking about, think about this boxing stuff that be going on. You know what I'm talking about? Now, first thing we're gonna start off with Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we was just talking about. Now, listen, man, before we get into this right here, man, I'm not talking, man, I don't even got Twitter. I ain't talking about nothing that nobody be typing or tweeting or nothing. I'm just talking about boxing skills. You know what I'm talking about? And he was talking about him. You know what I noticed a lot of people do? You know what I'm talking about? That I be talking to boxing a lot. I know there's a lot of them, they watch all this stuff that be on social media and stuff. And that's the thing I don't like about boxing now. It's how it's intertwined with all this social media stuff. I don't really like that. You know what I'm talking about? I just like the old school boxing. But what I realized talking to other people about sports and stuff, that they have one of these favorite people that they watch or something, or whatever everybody's talking about, and normally just regular people will they'll make that they philosophy. You know what I'm talking about? Now they might not even watch the fight or nothing like that. They'll just take everybody else's word for it. You know what I'm talking about? Or they'll just see what everybody talking about and they'll start repeating it. So we talking about Shakur Stevenson. He was talking about how he a born fighter or whatever. Now I don't know what you consider exciting or boring. You know what I'm talking about? But when we just talking about fight, Bruh can fight, man. And if you say he can't fight, I don't know what you looking at. You know what I'm talking about? Now he might not be. I don't even like. I don't understand what y'all be expecting out of boxer. It's almost like y'all be wanting somebody to stand right there and like like you want somebody just to sit there and sock on each other for your enjoyment or something. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all crazy as shit with that shit. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't bullshitting with you. So it'd be like when you talk about Shakur Stevenson. Listen, bruh, that I've seen in boxing, bruh, it ain't that many motherfuckers. I don't know. Man, ain't that many motherfuckers that can stand right in front of you, folks, and hit you and not get hit. That shit just not happening like that, folks. There's only been a few motherfuckers I done seen. I'm just paying attention to, you know what I'm talking about? Motherfuckers like Pernell Whitaker and them, Mayweather, Roy Jones, uh, James Toney. You know what I'm talking about? Motherfuckers like that, man. There's a few motherfuckers that got that shit, but it ain't that and that long. You know what I'm talking about? There's some motherfuckers that might could do that shit for a few rounds, bro, but it ain't that many people that could just do that shit that long, folks. It ain't. So he could fight, folks. But now, what I don't be getting when they be talking about him, because they be talking about, like, I don't got Twitter. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't know all the internet shit that be going on. I don't even be reading that shit. Uh, but, like, everybody be saying, oh, man, he be talking all that shit on Twitter. And then he come up in there and lay them born performances. Now, I guess I get it. You know what I mean? I guess if you talking about you gonna knock somebody out and you gonna do a whole bunch of shit and you don't do it, I guess motherfuckers can tease you or something, right? But like y'all be saying that shit like the nigga talk all that shit, then go in there and get punched on. He still be winning the fight, bruh. So with it, however much shit he talk, he still won the fight, bruh. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all act like the nigga talking all this shit, then go in there and get punched on or something. You know what I'm talking about? But people just cause it just be like a lot of casual sports fan. But like just the shit that y'all be wanting to see is crazy. The shit y'all be demanding out of people is crazy. You know what I'm talking about? On some real shit. But shit, that nigga can fight, folks. He got his own way of fighting. You know what I'm talking about? Now you could criticize the way he fight or whatever, man, but the nigga could fight. You know what I mean? And that's just the bottom line. That nigga could fight, Britt. And despite who you think could beat him, or if you don't think, because it's almost like motherfuckers want you to sit there and get cracked by Mike Tyson to see if you could take that punch. Like a motherfucker say, I want to see how his chin is. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, that's fine and dandy, nigga, but if you ain't got to get hit, why? I get it. You know what I'm talking about? I get it, but it's almost like we want a motherfucker to go through the R test. You know what I'm talking about? Like we got to test for a motherfucker. Like yeah, you good, but I want to see this and this. I want to see how you doing this. If you ain't got to put yourself in that situation, man, you know what I'm talking about, man. I say you winning. You know what I'm talking about? Man, when that shit occurs, see how you handle it then. But like a motherfucker act like every fight you supposed to go out there and live up to the shit that they want to see if you got. You know what I'm talking about? Every fight, go out there, get punched by this motherfucker right here to see if you can take it. See how you fight off the back foot. See how you fight off the front foot. Man, you better go in there and win that motherfucking fight. However you gotta fight. But if you just ask me, he can fight, man. You know what I'm talking about? And I think like I like Tank. Tank will fight like a motherfucker. Y'all just think Tank be knocking motherfuckers out. Tank will fight though. You know what I'm talking about? And that nigga got chin. Tank will fight. But I don't know who will win until they fight, man. See, I'm not one of them people right there. Boxing talk. You know what I'm talking about? Because we good for doing that, especially we just good for liking people. And the people we like, nigga, we got imaginary victories for them people. We gonna tell you how the person that we like, it ain't no way that the person you like could beat them. And we gonna give you all the ways our person to beat them. You know what I'm talking about? I just wanna see that shit. All that shit'll be a good fight. Cause you don't never know who gonna win until that night. You just don't. But even if Shakur Stevenson is not exciting as you might want him to be, bro, that doesn't take the point away from him that he could fight. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga know how to fight. You know, that's all I'm saying, nigga. He one of the best out there. You know what I'm talking about? Despite how boring you think he is or whatever, nigga could fight, bro. That's a motherfucking skill to stand 2 feet in front of some motherfucking body, hit them and not get hit, folks. Y'all crazy as a motherfucker. Y'all so used to criticizing people about what they not doing. Y'all don't appreciate the shit that they can do. For real. Now we gonna move on to the bread and meat. You know, somebody just had to say that because we was just talking about that. My partner was like, man, he's boring. And man, you can say all that. My nigga, he's still undefeated. That nigga don't have to fight people the way you want him to fight. You know what I'm talking about? Because it was just up to the people. You would just stand right there, bro. Take one to give one. Man, you crazy as a motherfucker, bro, if you ain't got to do that. You know what I'm talking about? And just because a nigga ain't got to do that, you want to call him boring. You know what I'm talking about? You want to see the nigga get hit to see if he can take a punch. Ain't that about a bitch? You know what I'm talking about? That's some crazy ass shit, bro. I told you the expectations a motherfucker will put on you. Now he really cause he really was calling me about that shit I said about Terrence Crawford. Cause he and I like Terrence Crawford. I don't, man, look, I like all of the man, I like Shoo and them, I like Hitchison, I like all the little black fighters, bro. I like all the nephews. Shakur, little nephew, Devin, Tank, I like all of them. I just hate the way that you boxing fans split the shit up now. It was another motherfucker y'all split up way back then. This shit been going on for a while though. It was just like the argument could Pacquiao beat Mayweather in the prime, and then like they waited too long and all that shit. In my opinion, Pacquiao would have never been able to whoop Mayweather ever. You know what I'm talking about? He punches too much. For me, Mayweather too much of a defensive. Mayweather would have been countering his ass. But I respect Mayweather because he wasn't finna fight him up off that shit. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna say, bro, that's, man, please, bro. Now, that's the first motherfucker I ever seen in boxing history. I remember when Pacquiao got put on the map. I didn't even know who Pacquiao was. I forgot who I was watching. It might have been somebody like Evander Holyfield against James Toney. But I was watching the fight, and I want to say that nigga was fighting, it might have been Shane Mosley, De La Hoya, too. Boxing talk. But that nigga, I want to say he was fighting Barrera. And I seen that nigga put tips on him. But like Pacquiao, bruh. Pacquiao was damn near getting knocked out every fight. Damn near. Every fight Pacquiao was having, a nigga was stinging his ass. Nigga. And if he wasn't damn near finna get knocked out, bruh, he got hurt real bad, bruh. But the nigga came from like 110 pounds, like 100 and, I don't know, 15. That nigga came from one of them low ass weight classes, bruh. To move all the way up, man, in a matter of months. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe a year and a half, bro, to just being able to whoop everybody, man. It's just something strange about that shit. It's just something strange to me about you come from damn near getting your ass whooped every fight to can't nobody touch you. And I just don't think that's progression. You know what I'm talking about? That shit, nah. You know what I'm talking about? And if you ever want to see something, go to that first Pacquiao Morales. When Morales with Pacquiao. Go to that fight. You know what I'm talking about? Not just that. Go to any fight that Pacquiao ever fought Marquez. That was his You know how Muhammad Ali used to have problems with what was the nigga named Joe Frazier? Marquez, that was always Pacquiao kryptonite. I think kryptonite. I really think Marquez won about 2 or 3 of them fights. They always gave it to Pacquiao though. That's why he knocked him out. That nigga knew he wasn't gonna never beat that nigga on the scorecards, even if he beat him in the ring. Marquez had some impeccable timing. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what used to irritate me about that shit. Because they would always go, they used to always like to compare, I don't know why y'all do this. Y'all compare the common opponent. You know what I'm talking about? So they used to go compare everybody that Pacquiao fought that Mayweather fought. And want to talk about how Pacquiao just dominated. But they never compared how Mayweather just sat there and beat the living daylights out of Marquez that beat Pacquiao or damn near beat him every time. They never wanted to compare that fight. They would just go to everybody else that Pacquiao destroyed. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man. So that shit being like the fans, they kind of being like that. But you fans, y'all make motherfuckers damn near not like the fighters because y'all don't even use y'all common sense. Y'all just come up in there with the like, man, anything can happen in a fight, folks. But that fight that's coming up with Terrence Crawford, my partner, like I said, I like Terrence Crawford, bro. He get down. I just think that he I don't know. I'd like to see how his power translate to 154. But if he can't hurt that dude, Terrence Crawford finna be in trouble. If he hurt him, because he one of the best finishers that there is. That nigga like blood in the water. And that's how you know he really carried Spence, bro. He could have been just, you know what I'm talking about? He carried that nigga, folks. It's like he spared him. He did. And if you was watching that fight, I know you seen that. It was almost like he felt sorry for him. He didn't really want to do him like that. And I respect that. I do. I respect that. I do. Because you already winning the fight. You said you ain't got to, you know what I'm talking about? You ain't got to go in for the kill. I respect that. So he got a little something to himself. You know what I'm talking about? More than all that other shit. See, that's what show. You know what I'm talking about? You already winning. It was almost like he didn't want to do anything like that. But if Crawford can't hurt this dude coming up, man, Crawford finna be in some trouble, bro. Cause like I said, Crawford, ever since I seen him fight Gamboa, but that's what made me like I've been telling people before that. But like that fight that he had with Gamboa, that was like the eye opening fight for him, where motherfuckers like, okay, this nigga get down. Cause at that time, I want to say Gamboa was undefeated too. He was a little old, but he was still good though. You know what I'm talking about? But I seen Gamboa hurt Bud a few times in that fight right before he knocked Gamboa out. Gamboa had caught him, I want to say, with an uppercut and wobbled Bud. But I done seen Bud wobbled a few times. You know what I'm talking about? And if you go watch this dude, he awkward, folks. But he got some shit because the nigga main punch is like a jab to your body, but that nigga be changing levels on that motherfucker. He got some little cold traps for like some awkward shit. You know how Madonna used to punch? Madonna used to punch at a weird angle. Triple G kind of used to punch at a weird angle too. Like he can, you know what I mean? It's like that shit don't become in flesh. It's like I can't explain it. But that nigga got a jab to the body, man. That could and you fuck around and react to that shit. And he got a weird ass oh man, he got a cold setup with that shit, folks. He got a cold setup with that shit. And I don't think this is one of them dudes that Crawford, you know how Crawford get hit and he like, I don't think you could do this dude like that, folks. Now you might can. I'm not saying that you're gonna lose, but I'm just telling you what I feel in my heart. You know what I'm talking about? If you was to ask the baby cuz I'm a little nervous for him. I ain't bullshitting with you. Because I see the shit. Like if you look at him and you just your tip top shape, I see the shit that they think they can take advantage of. You know what I'm talking about? I see it, you know what I mean? But dude a pressure fighter and he gonna be on him, man. And I don't think he gonna be able to like trade punches with that dude like that, man. You gonna have to like, man, I'm telling you, dude is he awkward. And I think what they saw is like they can go over there, snatch that belt, and then like in 2 fights, maybe 3 fights, unify at that weight. You know what I'm talking about? Then probably move up to fight Canelo. I don't think Terrence Crawford could beat Canelo. I don't. I think he has the ability to beat him. I just don't think he beat him. I don't think Benavidez beats him. I think and I said this when Bivol beat him. I said everybody's still down there talking shit at 160 and 154, but can't none of them people beat Canelo. Because you're going to have one of two things. You're going to have a granite chin and be able to box. Or you're going to have to not get hit. You're going to have hella footwork, defense, and all that shit not to get hit. And just beat that nigga for 12 rounds. But you're not going to hurt Canelo. You not. You not. That nigga got one of the best chins, if not the best, between him and Tank. Maybe that little, what's the little essay? Isaac Pitbull Cruz. It's all like them niggas, man. Them niggas got granite chins, folks. Boots. Looking like, but I ain't. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. Boots looking like he got a granite chin. That's what I was saying, because everybody just saying, man, he's too, like, you seeing, just like how Boots just had that fight, bruh. Like, you can't compare that shit. You gotta, like, see how them niggas fight each other on the night. You can't never go off one fight and think that's how the fight finna be when this nigga fight your person, bruh. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna be what you got that night. I bet none of y'all thought Rolly was gonna do as good as he was doing against Tank before he got knocked out. Nobody. Do you realize Rolly did better against Tank than he did against Pitbull Cruz? And Pitbull Cruz just beat Rolly to death. That shit don't go on the common opponents on there. That's why they say styles make fights. You know what I'm talking about? But most importantly, bruh, it's just what the fuck you bring to the ring that night. You know what I'm talking about? It's how your mental is that night, bruh. You might get caught up in everything going on. That shit, you might get caught up in the lights. I don't know, bruh. It's how what you bring that night, bruh. Is what come up out you that night. You know what I'm talking about? That's why they say is on that night you just might be a better person. But he was like, everybody just be looking at the other shit, bro. You be looking at this nigga only got 10 fights. Bro, don't none of that shit matter, bro. Like, I mean, it might matter in experience. He ain't, you know what I'm talking about? I'm sure Bud gonna be way seasoned. You know what I'm talking about? You know, just like Tevin Farmer was on the other dude. Now, the other dude, he was a monster before he ran up against Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer, OG. You know what I'm talking about? He made him look average. But what I'm saying is, what the fuck 10 fights got to do? I only had 10 fights. You might have way more fights than me and all that shit, but we both finna step up in this ring tonight. Now, that shit might be a detriment to him. He might get caught up in the lights and the moment be too big for him. But if it don't, I remember nigga back in the day, I was just watching one of them old school fights. I want to say Holyfield when they had junior heavyweight. That nigga only had like 10 or 11 fights. Nigga was up in there fighting. Sometimes you just good, folks. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes that shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes it do. It just depends on that night. But 10 fights ain't got nothing to do with you cracking. You know what I'm talking about? Because I had 10 fights, nigga, I could still crack. And I just don't know if he'll be able to. I thought the same thing about Benavidez. And I think Benavidez realized that. Benavidez fuck around and get hurt up there fucking with B-Ball or that other nigga. What's his name? That nigga that got 100% knockout ratio. Benavidez fuck around and get hurt up there with them. Cause the nigga he just fought was hella old, bro. And that nigga, yeah, them other niggas got more than him. You feel me? On some real shit. But my partner couldn't believe that, that I said, I'm worried about Terrence Crawford in this next fight. I don't know why it ain't getting no publicity like that. Now I see exactly what he's trying to do. Cause I think he see a way where he could like unify at 154 in like 2 or 3 fights. But I think they picked the wrong dude, bruh. I don't know how his power gonna translate. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if the fix is in. I don't know. They might have some slick going on. So you know what I'm talking about? So I could stand corrected. But just my feeling if it's gonna be a real boxing match, I could see Crawford getting hit with one of them weird ass ankle punches, and dude could crack. And dude ain't a bad finisher himself. Like if he hurts you, you know what I'm talking about, he own you. So I'm a little worried for Bud. And I be watching the Bud fans. Like I say, you boxing fans, y'all something else in these days. Cause y'all just repeat a lot of shit that y'all hear people say, but y'all be delusional when it comes to boxing. You know what I'm talking about? Just like yesterday, I heard a nigga say before Boots can fight Terrence Crawford, he has to move up, maybe fight a Charlo or Victor Ortiz. He was talking about all the perfect fights for Boots that Terrence Crawford ain't even fought. So why does Boots have to fight somebody Terrence Crawford? Who has the nigga Terrence Crawford finna fight right now? Only got 10 fights. Who the fuck has he fought? I don't be getting that. Just like how they was saying Nephew and Tank and all that. They be talking about what, bro, you just fought Frank Martin. Like, I don't be getting, y'all be fighting these motherfuckers. Then y'all be saying on the other hand, you got to do more and this person don't deserve a chance. That motherfucker you fighting, what did they do to deserve a chance? That's the other thing I don't like about boxing now. That's what was better about boxing back in the day. Now you can have a whole era of niggas that came up together and you might not even see them niggas fight each other in they whole era. That's bullshit. Back in the day, Brad wasn't no getting around it. Nigga, everybody was getting down. You was fighting them niggas up 2, 3, 4 weight classes, nigga. You started off with them niggas in bantamweight, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You ended up in light heavyweight with the same nigga, bro. Y'all started off at bantamweight. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, it was like the chicken and that nigga from Family Guy. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas just followed each other. Y'all was fighting niggas in different weight classes. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all just kept moving up gradually. Started off at bantamweight. You know what I'm talking about? You just moved up, kept seeing that nigga, bruh. It wasn't no way that y'all came up in the same era and y'all wasn't finna fight 2, 3 times, bruh. It just wasn't no way. And that's why I say Mayweather, that's how he fucked boxing up a little bit. Now, he didn't do nothing. Mayweather, arguably one of the best, if not the greatest. I know we gonna say Muhammad Ali. There's a few motherfuckers that name. You know what I'm talking about? I heard a motherfucker say Sonny Liston. Ken Norton. I mean, I ain't talking about great. I was just talking about heavyweights. I ain't naming none of them as like the best boxers of all time. I was just talking about heavyweights. But you know what I mean? A motherfucker can't argue that. But where he fucked boxing up at is because he was able to retire. He was great enough in his time to retire undefeated. So it's like now everybody chases that. They want to be immortal like him. And what that does a lot of time, it'll make you miss the best fights. You know what I'm talking about? Because you more worried about staying undefeated than about showing you the best and all that shit. You know what I'm talking about? They do. And niggas just come up and try to do that shit early. They don't even go through the pretty boy Floyd stage of it. You know what I'm talking about? They act like that nigga wouldn't, that's why if you go look at Mayweather fights, I think the first time that nigga, what was that nigga name? That nigga had a funny name, a nickname. But the nigga rocked Mayweather way back then. Damn, what was that nigga name? Something like Boom Boom or Bam Bam or something. I forgot the nigga. That nigga had like one of the funny names, like nicknames. But that nigga rocked. That was the first time Mayweather got rocked. But as soon as Mayweather got, because he had never get credit for having a chin. Mayweather had a good ass chin, folks. He did. And he had good recovery time. You know what I'm talking about? Not just that. You never got to hit him that flush again. But in my opinion, I've seen Mayweather lose a fight. You know what I'm talking about? Just in my opinion. I think Castillo, that first Castillo fight, I think Castillo got Mayweather. That's the only time I seen Mayweather not be able to get away from motherfucker. But he came back and watched him, so it didn't matter. You know what I'm talking about? The nigga, you know what I'm talking about? But I know he felt it. Not even Madonna. Like, I never thought Madonna won that fight. The only fight that I thought that Mayweather actually lost, bro, is probably that Castillo fight. If I'm just looking at it, I kind of thought Andre Ward lost that first fight against Kovalev when I was looking at it. Not even because of the knockdown, but he did the same thing Mayweather did. And I love Andre Ward. That's one of my favorite fighters ever. So if I'm just telling you from the eye test, boxing talk. But like I was telling you, man, this is what's fucked up because this is what I see. If Terrence Crawford loses this fight, that's why I would rather him fight Boots. You know what I'm talking about? Because even if he lost to Boots, he wouldn't, it ain't gonna be the same as if he lose to this dude. He might even still have some credibility if he lose to Boots. You know what I'm talking about? Or or might not. But he depends on how he lose. But if he get knocked out by this dude, bro, they gonna act like Terrence Crawford never could fight. They gonna act like he was never considered pound for pound. I'm telling you, folks, all the Errol Spence fans that mad because he beat up Spence, they gonna be on this, bro. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. That's why I really hope he win. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm getting tired of y'all not wanting to see the best fights. That's what's fucked up with boxing. You know what I'm talking about? I'm tired of niggas wanting to hide they fighters. You know what I'm talking about? The fans like we they manager or something. We tell another motherfucker how he too young or he need to do more. That shit don't be making no sense, bro. It don't. Yeah, that shit don't be making no sense, bro. And this ain't even no old school shit or nothing. But like, niggas, boxing is a sport, bro. You should just be the best. You know what I'm talking about? It's funny how a nigga try to tell you how to dictate your road to get to a nigga now. You know what I'm talking about? If you a boxer and you the champ or not even the champ, nigga, they just talking about you the baddest motherfucker. You should just want to fight the best. That's what's missing. There ain't nowhere in the world, nigga, that a motherfucker came up in the same era. 4-5 motherfuckers that ain't none of them ever fought each other, bro. That shit don't make no sense. That ain't even boxing no more, bro. That's pick and choose. You know what I'm talking about? But on some real shit, just like the welterweight, and once again, I'm not gonna criticize. I'm not criticizing them, even though it might sound like I am. And I'm just gonna keep it real. We talking about that weight, that 147 weight, bro. You know who had the best resume to me out of that little thing? Shawn Porter. You know what I'm talking about? And as a boxer, I love Shawn Porter. Because that nigga had a style, bro, no matter how you wanted to fight. I'm talking about when the younger Shawn Porter, not the one that kind of like Terrence Crawford got. That nigga made you fight his fight, no matter what kind of style you fought. Like Errol Spence didn't have to fight that nigga. That nigga Shawn Porter just had a way. That nigga, yeah, I like the way that nigga just forced you to fight that fight, bro. He gonna make you fight. You know what I'm talking about? He was crazy with that shit, bro. He was one of the, yeah, I like the Shawn Porter better than all them niggas. Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman beat Shawn Porter though. But I never really liked the Keith Thurman like that. I didn't. Even when but he was good. When he was good, Keith Thurman was hard to deal with. When he was good, on some real shit. When he was all the way locked in before he started taking them layoffs and shit, like his boxing style was a problem for motherfucker. Keep it real. I don't see how Pacquiao beat him. You know what I'm talking about? I bet you he still ain't been drug tested for that fight right there, but you know what I'm talking about? Barrios better look out. You know what I'm talking about? The nigga come back with one of them epic ass Rocky. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna take this dosage one more time for the people. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga Barrios better look out. They better do some motherfucking drug testing. Fuck around, let Pacquiao go out on top again. You know what I'm talking about? Man, Pacquiao come back and beat Barrios for that belt, man. Nigga Manny Pacquiao damn near go down as the greatest motherfucking boxer ever lived, bruh. I ain't bullshitting with you. I ain't bullshitting with you. But yeah, boxing talk. I don't want to see Terrence Crawford lose, bro. I got a bad feeling though. You know what I'm talking about? But the fans, just talking to the fans and just talking to other motherfuckers, they really think that he has no, and he might not. I hope he don't. But they talk like this fight coming up is just in the bag. Like there is no fear. Like he just got this, and I don't think they really cause I didn't know who dude was. You know what I'm talking about? So I started looking him up and just looking at shit. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga awkward, folks. That nigga got some cold little traps. Now I don't know if he gonna be too green like Lubin was against Charlo, but Crawford better look out, bruh, and do the champion. This is a dangerous fight for him, folks. Right now, this fight might be the most. Now look, I can stand corrected. I might come up here and talk all this shit. Crawford go up in there and do that shit that Crawford known to do. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just telling you a feeling I got. And if my memory serves me right, I mean not memory, but like if my what I think might happen serves me right, bruh, this might be the most dangerous fight Terrence Crawford could have right now. I don't see why he waited so long to fight again. Actually, I don't. It's like he almost let his momentum run out, folks. On some real shit. He was like the most talked about. Like he shocked the world. You know what I'm talking about? But it's like he ain't even ride that momentum right. You feel me? But like I said, I wish him the best. I like all the black fighters, really. You know what I'm talking about? Out of all of them, now y'all know Nephi gonna be my favorite. You know what I'm talking about? But that's what just kills me. Going back to that Shakur shit, it just kills me how the fans like y'all just automatically say who could win the fight. That's what I don't get. It's like y'all argue not to have the best fight that could be out there, or you argue for your fighter not to even have to fight this person, and that don't even make no sense if you're a boxing fan. That's why I don't even like the social media aspect of it. You should just be wanting to fight all them niggas. You know what I'm talking about? You should. And then y'all just lock in on certain niggas' performances, like how that's what I was gonna say, like Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez just fought a week before that, folks. And after he won the fight, looked like he lost the fight. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga face was swole the fuck up. But it's like nobody pins in on that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all just got y'all favorite people to criticize. That shit crazy. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I don't like the social media aspect part of it. Y'all know I bred with vocabulary. So if you hear me say something, you know how it is, boxing talk. You know what I'm talking about? In this video longer than I thought it was gonna be. But this to my partner I'll be chopping it up with about boxing, or the few partners I'll be chopping it up with about boxing. Because everybody like you'll see one person performance, whether it's good or bad, and you'll judge them from that point right there. And you'll just act like they don't stand a chance against this person because of, you know what I mean? And it ain't styles make fights, bruh. You don't know what's gonna happen until any of that shit happen. That's all I be saying. Yeah, you really ain't gonna know what's gonna happen to any of that shit happen. So you just can't say this or that. Just like a motherfucker don't think like it's finna be a fight. Like a motherfucker just finna walk through, like I said, especially Terrence Crawford fans, bro. You'll think because that nigga beat Spence, like that nigga got some kind of power from a Greek god or something. Motherfuckers just talking about, nah, he'll knock him out. That ain't even no fight. You see how he did Spence? And they go back to that one good ass performance and they act like that's just what you finna see from the rest of your, like, that was just that night, folks. You ain't seen the man fight since. And that's why I think a lot of people finna be disappointed. And he good. And I hope he could hurt dude. Because if he can't, I think dude gonna be on his ass. You know what I'm talking about? I do. Because dude a pressure fighter. And although Crawford liked to counter and all that shit, you know what I'm talking about? And all that. And that was the thing I heard a motherfucker say about Boots. They was talking about what punches Boots couldn't throw against Terrence Crawford because he's so good of a counterpuncher. If he threw the same punch with more than, or just some old shit, Terrence Crawford, he just got in his head that Terrence Crawford gonna automatically pick this nigga combinations off. I said, man, you niggas something straight out of the comic book. And once again, I heard nobody said once Boots hit Terrence Crawford the effect that it might have. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what that nigga might be able to hit him with. But basically, this nigga was trying to say some shit like Boots wouldn't be able to hit Terrence Crawford with a combination. And once again, for all the people with that argument, I ain't never seen Boots hurt. I've seen Terrence Crawford hurt on several occasions. You know what I'm talking about? So if you just ask me, I'll be more inclined to say Boots will be able to take Terrence Crawford punch better than Terrence Crawford will be able to take Boots punch. If two people could punch and one person has a better chin, who would you give it to? You know, I don't know. You just have to see. I'm inclined to believe though Boots might be able to take Terrence Crawford power. But every time you hear somebody talk, they always, when they talk, they be like, Boots has never seen anybody like Terrence Crawford and all, you know what I mean? And I don't think, I guess Spence was supposed to be the most dominated thing. And that's what fucked people visual up. Because you know how Spence was dominating, how everybody held Spence to a high regard. And just to see Terrence Crawford come up in there and watch him like that, that's what made them put extra on that win. And they think because like Errol Spence was perceived to be the baddest motherfucker at the time, and he just went through him like that, they actually think he could beat Canelo. They actually think this nigga could jump up 2 weight classes, and you get what I'm saying? They believe this nigga is Superman now. That's why I think a lot of people gonna be disappointed, man. Because once again, now Terrence Crawford has some good recovery time, and like I said before, every time I've ever seen him get hurt, he actually came back to stop a motherfucker right after that. But I just don't personally believe. Like I seen you get hurt by Gamboa, and that might not mean nothing today. But I just don't personally believe that you niggas can just keep on jumping up these weight classes, thinking you gonna be able to just bully people just because of what you did before. I don't think you just be able to. Now there's some motherfuckers who could do it, and if you could do it, salute to you. But they say they got weight classes for a reason. Now you might be perfect for it. Yeah, you might be ready for it, but we gonna see. This fight to tell you if you ready for it or not. It will. Now your power might translate. You might be the same thing. You know what I'm talking about? And that's cool. Because I really want to see that Errol Spence and Crawford rematch. I do. But I think Errol Spence better watch out with Endure. I think Crawford better watch out with Endure. I think anybody that motherfucking tall that can hit hard, bro, you gonna have to look out for. Despite what you think you could do with them. You know what I'm talking about? But them niggas been up there, bro, so them niggas cracking. You know what I'm talking about? So yo, there she go. Boxing talk. You gonna have to be able to endure that shit that's coming. You know what I'm talking about? To get that shit you think you got. But I think he gonna be in trouble, folks. I could really see him get knocked out. And like I say, I hope it don't happen because if he lose that fight, they gonna act like he can never fight ever. They gonna act like all that shit before that didn't exist. I promise you, bro. Especially the Spence fans. You know what I'm talking about? They secretly want him to lose just because he beat Spence, and that's crazy. That's crazy as shit. You know what I'm talking about? That's just like when the Warriors beat your team, and then you want to see them lose because they eliminated y'all. Look at that. Yeah, it's like that. But I'm finna go fuck with this dog. Boxing talk. But yeah, man, that's what me and my partner was just talking about. That's what I think, man. I think that whoever a motherfucker fight, that you should pay more attention to the person that the person is fighting, not so much the name. You know what I'm talking about? Because some of these people out here, they present a real problem for some of these people out here fighting. You know what I'm talking about? Just because you don't know them or they don't got a big name, don't mean that them people can't fight. You know what I'm talking about? But we end on this boxing talk. What I think we need to stop doing. Y'all hold on. Yeah, that motherfucker playing. But yeah, on this boxing talk, what I was finna say is we should stop I gotta go walk this motherfucker. We should stop like promoting not to see the best fight. We should not say this is the reason the fight shouldn't happen. You gotta do more and all that shit. We should just want to see the best fights. We You know how the fans run around now, just give you an automatic victory looking at. Now you don't need to fight him because you ain't did enough. Then the next person got to fight 5 motherfuckers before they can get to your person so they can prove themselves. That shit don't make no sense. Just fight. You know what I'm talking about? You should just want to fight. You know what I'm talking about? It shouldn't be no reason because everybody like just like nephew. Y'all done seen that shit with Ryan Garcia. Even though this nigga cheated, and y'all still say the nigga ain't got no chin. Even though the nigga went 12 rounds with a nigga that was off steroids. Like y'all to just sit here and listen to these people tease a motherfucker until you adopt that philosophy. You know what I'm talking about? The shit y'all be talking about don't even make no sense. How the fucking nigga ain't got no chin and he keeps getting up. But when Tyson Fury keeps getting up, somehow he's brave. Y'all, it's crazy. Something straight out of the comic book. It's just the way y'all perceive that shit when y'all want to tease somebody. You know what I'm talking about? You gonna switch it which way you that benefits your argument. That's what you gonna do. You know what I'm talking about? Lomachenko been dropped in several different fights. Nephew got dropped a few times in one fight. We ain't talking about stumbled or he got caught and he was dazed. We talking about drop. He got dropped a few times in one fight. That nigga Lomachenko been dropped a few times in a few different fights. Drop. They ain't gonna talk about it. Like, they ain't gonna talk about it. That shit just crazy, bro. We pick and choose. But on this boxing talk, I'm finna get up out of here. I'm gonna tell Crawford to, man, watch out. This fight a little bit more dangerous than people think it is. You know what I'm talking about? And, yeah, man, you don't know who gonna beat who until motherfucker fight, folks. You know what I'm talking about? So I wish y'all to stop just giving people skills and shit that they ain't even got. You ain't even seen them do. You just predict it. You know what I'm talking about? If he would have threw that punch right there, that person would have stepped to the side. He would have looked at him. He would have ducked up under it. And he would have came back with a hook. Then after he hit him with the hook, he would have hit him with a body shot. Then it would have been an uppercut. He would have stepped back. He would have did the, you know what I'm talking about? He would have did the Muhammad Ali shuffle. Then he would have hit him. Bro, we don't know that. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all play fantasy games, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Just let the people fight and see the outcome. You don't know who gonna win. You could think somebody will beat anybody. I bet you nobody thought Buster Douglas was gonna beat Mike Tyson. I bet you, and I don't know who Diego Corrales was fighting. Castile, it might have been. They thought he was finna get knocked out. You feel what I'm saying? You don't know, bro. Just let the people fight. You know what I'm talking about? And let's stop promoting the people not to fight and somebody need to do all. Just let the people fight, bro. Let's stop telling people that they need to do more. You know what I'm talking about? To get a certain fight, bro. Let's stop doing that. You have to, y'all be naming people. Y'all people ain't even fault. Because y'all people won one fight. So it just don't make no sense, bro. Let everybody fight. That's why they fight. Whoever in that division right there or whoever coming up, catch, you know what I'm talking about, can move up to that weight. Just make the best fights. You know what I'm talking about? That's what the people should want to see anyway. Hey, but what do I know? Only you could prevent forest fires. And with that one right there, if you don't remember nothing else, always remember. You know what I'm talking about? Don't cost nothing. Just to show a little bit of that love.